Today we're going to talk about perspective and how to use that with form. Perspective is divided into three different areas. First we have the foreground, then the middle ground, and lastly we have the background. Let's start with foreground to begin. The foreground is the front part of the picture, often at the bottom, and typically stands out first to the viewer. In this image, the red flowers are in the foreground. Not only are they brighter in color, but they are also larger and in front of the building. How about with this image? Which object is in the foreground and why? Next, let's look at the background. This is the furthest object from the viewer and the image that is behind all others. In this image, it is the buildings. Notice that they are behind all other objects within the picture. Where is the background in this image? If you said the mountains, then you are correct. Lastly, we have the middle ground. This is the area that lies between the foreground and the background. If you can find your foreground and background, you should have no problem then locating your middle ground. So let's look at one last example. Take a minute to distinguish what is your foreground and the background, and then the middle ground in this image. Notice the shoes. They're larger in scale and in front of everything else in the image. This is your foreground. Next, the background. The trees, the house, and the street lamp are in the background. They're behind everything else. Lastly, we have the boy. He is between the shoes and the trees. Therefore, he is your middle ground. An element that is crucial in deciding where the three grounds are located is overlapping. Without this, everything would be even in the image and feel flat as seen in the image on the right. Overlapping, as seen in the image on the left, is where one image is partially covering the other, allowing the illusion that one object is in front of the other. Another way to show perspective and distinguish foreground from background is size variation. This is a technique for showing something is farther or closer. Items that are to appear closer to the viewer should be much larger in size, and something further away should be much smaller. Notice the difference here? If they were the same size, then they would look similar in depth or out of place. If you enjoyed my tutorial, please subscribe to my page to be updated on new videos.